Yeah, I guess it's going. Okay. Let's see something here. It's a little better. All right, you guys. I have a couple initial things I want to talk to you about, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. It is November 6th, and I seriously, every time I say the word November, I can't believe it's November because it's Texas and it's 85 degrees, and I just don't understand how November and 85 degrees, it's just, they don't line up. So I just have a hard time thinking it's like Thanksgiving month, but it is, it's here. And it's time for us to think about 2018 and really focus on the end of the year, what our plans are, and how we're going to kick off 2018 with a bang. And Beachbody is really rolling out some new things for us. I'm really excited to talk about that. As you know, leadership was just this past week, and they had a lot of cool things announced during that time. And I've been able to see some things, and my best friend Stephanie brought me back some bars. However, she hasn't quite made it back. She's doing a little bit of a U.S. tour before she gets back here to Texas. So I'll be tasting those on Wednesday night. But I can't wait to have a sample of them because I hear that they're really yummy. So I just kind of want to hop right into this. Couple things I want to remind you guys about. Carl did extend the sign-up date for November to Remember. You have 2 more days to team up with somebody. And there's a lot going on with this promotion. You have the benefit of helping your schools and really helping like your PTA and your PTOs and teaching them how this is a fundraiser for them instead of like cookies or candy sales and things like that. You can do your own little promotion with it. I know some teams are saying, here's 5 every challenge pack they sell, they're donating $5 to the schools. There's all kind of little spins that you can do with it. And then of course, there's the big prizes where they're giving away $50,000 and $10,000. And Carl just keeps upping it. I thought tonight he was going to change it all up again, but Michael Demon said, no more changing it, Carl. It's out. We're rolling with it. It was pretty funny. So that's a really cool promotion. So you have 2 more days to team up with somebody. Just one person. Don't overthink it. Grab a new coach and lock arms with them. Become success partners with someone for the month. And you never know where that might take you and your business. It's really cool to do something with somebody else. I just want to kind of continue to mute some lines as you come on, just so, because when we get going, I know it can get really loud. I am super excited to bring on a friend of mine, one of the very first people I met when I got into this business a million years ago, but literally almost 11 years ago. It'll be 11 years next month. It blows my mind. Now with the new back office, my sign-up date kind of blares at me every time I sign in, and it was December 26, 2006. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is the longest job I've ever had, you guys. So it's kind of cool. So Milan lives out in California, and she has an amazing business. She's an elite coach. She's been on the cab. She is one of the first Million Club members. Her and her husband do this business together. They have incredible experience, an amazing organization, and I'm just excited to have her here on the call. Matter of fact, I have heard that when she spoke at Leadership, I wasn't able to go this year, but when she spoke on Leadership, it was many people's favorite speech that was given during Leadership. So I'm like, yes, I get her on my call on Monday. That's so fantastic. People are like, you have to hear Milan. I'm like, I get her on Monday. I was really excited. So Milan, just welcome to our team call tonight.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Thumbs up?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, good. I'm using Kevin's headset. It's so fun to be doing this. I can't believe we haven't done it before after 11 years. For goodness sake.
I know, it's crazy.
So, thank you for the invite. So Kevin and I, we were in the corporate side of network marketing most of our careers, and had gotten married, retired, and moved up to the Sonoma wine country. When we started getting phone calls from the corporate team that Carl was putting together for $1 Million Body. At the time, I think we said no 6 times, to be honest with you. So I guess persistence is a good thing, and Carl is definitely persistent. And so we were invited to go visit them for 3 days. And I'll never forget, I was probably had my arms crossed and a little resistant. I didn't like the name. I, hadn't really been good at taking care of myself. I'd been successful in the corporate side, but definitely not, in terms of making fitness and health important to me. Kevin, on the other hand, loved it. And so I remember walking to the front door as I was leaving Beachbody, and Carl tapped me on the shoulder and he said, "Listen, Milan, we've got a lot to do in a short amount of time." This was September. We were inviting founders in December, just a few months later. And he said, "I know you're still kind of wondering about this, but what if you could create a business doing something that you loved and that you were really proud of? And the most important part of the success of your business was actually that you took really good care of yourself." And I walked out the door and I said, "Thank you very much." And we went back into our lives. And I remember thinking to myself, all those years climbing a corporate ladder, no CEO ever cared if I was healthy or happy, for that matter. And his words just really stuck with me. And I kept thinking, I remember making a list of people that I would invite, and it was like 14 people. That was it in the beginning. I thought, oh, this is going to be tough. So I came into this, a little scared and super committed. And so there was not an option to fail in the beginning. And the funny thing is, Melissa will remember, it was bumpy. The road was bumpy in the beginning. We did not. And I just wanted to tell you that story because the first generation of coaches who kind of created a foundation for this business did not have Shakeology. We didn't have challenge packs or challenge groups as a way of doing the business. We didn't have success club points. We really had, and this is one of the things I want to talk about tonight, we really had a very clear way of introducing the whole idea of Beachbody to someone. Now, luckily, a lot of people knew about us because of the infomercials. So we could simply, mention P90X or later on Insanity, and people go, "Oh yeah, I think I've seen that." And that was really helpful to us. But to explain coaching and explain the relationship between a customer and a coach and a value there, we had to figure out a way to do that. So I just want to tell you that I want to talk about the last 10 years in order to really talk about the future. In the beginning, when we made a shift to challenge groups, challenge packs, Shakeology, all of that, it pretty much derailed me personally. Up until that point, I had really been on a steady growth pattern with our business and felt really confident in what I was teaching. But when I became a coach, I didn't ever imagine what that meant was that I was going to go around in my life and say, "Hey, do you want to be in a challenge group? Hey, I'm running a free group. Hey, I've got a challenge group next Saturday," or whatever. That just wasn't what I did. And what I did do though, is I told Beachbody's story. I would say, there's a company doing something pretty cool. You've probably seen their stuff on TV. We've got some things we've got to work out. But, I keep thinking to myself, what if we locked arms and we figured this out together? Like I'd have to say, we don't have our training figured out yet, and we're still getting our products figured out. But what I really did in the beginning is I told Beachbody's story, and I said, what I think they're doing is really unique, and they're telling the truth about nutrition. And what they're telling people is they're making fitness fun. They've got nutrition made simple, and they've created support so people make change. And that formula alone was different than other things that were out there. And so we told that story for years, and Melissa will probably remember this. And that's how we built our team. So when challenge packs and challenge groups and success club points and elite and all that came around, I don't want to say I was derailed, but I was kind of like sitting back, like, how do I adopt this into what I know and what I love? And so I watched, though, I have to say, the company went from maybe 300 million in sales at that time, most of which was infomercial, to $1 billion in sales now. So that whole idea and simplifying and narrowing our focus down to inviting people into challenge groups clearly was a huge part of Beachbody's success to get us where we are. But the last year has been a little wonky, and I like to talk to coaches very honestly about that. So if you're a brand new coach and you're just coming in this last year, you're probably like, well, I'm just kind of learning to get my foundation set. That's great. For coaches who have kind of moved through the story of Beachbody, this last year has been similar to what it was like for me 5 years ago when we kind of, narrowed our focus down. And so that's what I really want to give you today is I want to give you some ideas around how to strengthen your team, how to get really clear about the way to, to build something incredibly strong that you can rely on. And that includes an income that you can rely on. So what happened in the last year, obviously, was that we had to migrate from traditional DVDs into live streaming on demand. We knew it. We knew that we needed to do this for years. One of the reasons was losing millions of dollars to piracy. People would take our stuff and duplicate it and sell it for less. But the other was that our customers wanted on demand, and other companies were doing on demand offerings. And so it was direction we needed to go, and it shifted things. So I might have had a customer in the old days that would have done P90X, and then they would have done X3, and then maybe they would have tried Insanity. And so I would have had an ongoing relationship trying different programs. Now, great for the customer. They get everything with one membership. But that has created a shift for coaches, and we are finding our way through that. And so what I want to share with you, I think, is going to be hopefully give you a sense of what's still possible when we learn from the past of some things that we did really well and we incorporate it now into our game plan moving forward. We had a coach post something on a leadership board that we have, and she was basically saying, I've built a great little business. I'm really happy and feel very grateful for what I have, but I'm not sure I can continue to do it this way. And so I want some advice. And that's what I just kind of spoke up and I said, as long as we're focusing on rank and elite and points, we might not be building something as strong as we really want to have. If we get back to focusing on building small little coaches who have small customer bases of, let's say, 6 to 10 customers, which equates to about 500 points, and we learn how to duplicate that, then we're going to build something really strong. And the reason I know that is twofold. The first is when I look back at the foundation we set with coaches, that's exactly what we did. And honestly, I'm not sure we even knew better. We got to Emerald, and we built Emeralds. And those Emeralds, back in those days, would get customer leads from Beachbody. Now, the sad thing is we had a really hard time reaching those customers. They didn't reach out to us, but we watched Emerald tribes getting built that way. And those tribes had volume. And so I remembered that. And when I went back and looked at it, I'm like, that totally makes sense. All we need to do now is duplicate that exact same thing with customers now. The second thing is I work with a lot of women who are in other companies doing other things, mostly Party Plan that I've been coaching for years. Their classic model for building their business, their goal every month is a minimum of 500 PV or points or customer sales. And for every company based on their product line, that's a little different, but that's kind of a standard focus. And I looked at our team and I thought, you know what? We don't do that. It's been a long time. We've been focused on Success Club points, but we haven't been focused on creating a volume strong team. And then as I was talking to coaches, I learned some interesting things. Coaches would say to me, I really had a goal of getting to Success Club 5 or 10. And so, if somebody was interested, I'd explain the challenge pack and they'd buy the challenge pack because it's definitely the best solution we have. It gives you everything that we believe in for your success. It's at the best price Beachbody offers for everything. And, in the third week or so, if they weren't really ready for their next shipment of Shakeology, I'd have them either cancel that or stay focused on their on demand and get their meal plan. But so as soon as I started to hear those stories, I'm like, oh my goodness, I hear what's happening is that we really started focusing on points so much that we lost our ability to stand strong in the value of a challenge pack and Shakeology. We had people coming on board, staying for 3 or 4 months and then canceling. And then we were doing all the work of a coach building this, but we didn't have volume strong. And so another thing might happen is that they would have said, well, Beachbody, the price of that challenge pack is the same if you're a coach or if you're a customer. So you could just be a coach and then you'll save money, on your residual shipments after that. But that person was really never planning to be a coach. And so some of these truths start to come out about kind of the kind of the behind the scenes things that were happening that I think is really the reason we've had a funky year. And we are in a really amazing place right now. I don't think we've ever been in a better place to emerge from this. Number one, with the innovations that Beachbody's creating. And number two, with us going, okay, we need to really get back to building volume strong teams. And I don't want to say just back to, we want to push forward with that. And so we've started this group. Coaches are kind of totally reigniting their focus and their game plans around this whole idea. And it comes down to 4 things. So the first is, I'm going to tell you that being able to invite to a challenge book is a core skill every coach should have. And ideally, even in how we bring our coaches on board, every coach knows how to do it. Every coach practices that skill. Every coach has at least one group that they're working on every month, because that's how we connect with our customers. But what about the customer that you run into that already has a program they want to do? Or maybe you meet a guy at Costco that's a CrossFit guy, or you have somebody that's doing Jenny Craig or one of those programs. Typically, a coach would really kind of shut the door and think, okay, well, I'm not going to sell a challenge pack to somebody who's paying money to Jenny Craig or to a guy who's going to CrossFit. And that's, another big learning thing for me is when I started teaching coaches what I like to call the healthy formula. And I'd ask them, so what do you sell? And they're like, well, I sell transformation, or I sell, the idea of having support around fitness. All of those are great answers. But what I like our coaches to really think about is maybe what you really sell is what I like to call the healthy formula. And it's what's different about Beachbody versus just about any other solution out there. What you really sell is fitness that's fun, something you enjoy doing every day, nutrition made simple. And for some people, that's portion control. For some people, that's Shakeology. For others, it might be, just getting their digestive system healthy. And the final thing is the sport. So if I meet a nutritionalist, I'm not at all intimidated to say, so, are you open to trying this? And if she says, nah, I'm not a shake person, shakes are not my thing, I might say, Guy, I totally get that that's not in alignment with what you believe. So tell me, when you're working with your clients, like, how do you get them to move your body? What are you doing there? And I know you see them periodically, once a month or once a week or whatever. As a nutritionalist, what do you do to stay in contact with them when you don't see them? So now I've got to have an opportunity to plug her into either using the challenge tracker and or our fitness programs, along with whatever she does as a nutritionalist. Same thing true with the CrossFit guy. So I'm thinking when I meet the CrossFit guy about his healthy formula. Okay, so you already have a way to do your fitness. How's that working for you? I mean, are you getting, is it, are you loving it? And if he says, yeah, I'm like, great. Okay, so what kind of nutritional plan do you have to support or fuel the workouts that you're doing? And or maybe you're doing a few challenges or going to the CrossFit gym every now and then. What kind of ongoing support do you have? And so again, I'm using the formula, those 3 things with everybody that I meet to see, do you have a complete solution in place? And if you don't, is there something that we offer as a community within Beachbody that would help you even do better towards your goals than you're doing right now? So, and then when you think about the healthy formula, you obviously think, well, the challenge pack is like the perfect solution to it. I just don't want a coach to feel like they're done with somebody if they don't want a challenge pack or if they don't want Shakeology. When I had to have this conversation at leadership, when I said that, I felt like, a lightning bolt was going to hit me for saying it. But I think we need to really look at building a strong business. This is your business. Beachbody really, in many ways, is a vendor to your idea of what you want to bring to the world. And so I like to look at it as, I love the healthy formula. That's what I use. I teach it to everybody, and I use it when I meet people. And I'm genuinely curious to see, do they have a complete formula or not? And the second step to this is building emeralds. So let me say the second step is 500 PV coach mindset. So if you imagine that you yourself and the coaches in your team who actively want to be coaches have a goal every month of 500 points. And by that, I don't mean 500 new points of new customers every month, just 500 solid points of customers. And I might have a couple people that are on the Ultimate Reset Digestive Aid because I got them off of their Tums, or, I got them to switch their probiotic over to ours. And I might have a couple people that are on Shakeology, or a family on Daily Sunshine, or some CrossFit guys using our, our performance line. So I have a variety of customers, and some will be done after a while with, they've reached their goal and they're not using products. That's okay. So I'm always kind of engaging, and I'm always shooting for that 500 points. If you had a coach team where that was the real goal, and if you as a collective team, because I can see your names. I know you guys are some amazingly creative people. If you said, how could we equip every coach on our team to be extremely successful doing 500 points? For some of you, that could like double, triple, 4 times your business in the coming months if you just did that. Because what I've noticed when I go look at diamonds is I like to call it the classic diamond. It's a diamond who came in with a challenge pack. They do their 90 points. They might have a few customers here and there, or when they run a challenge group, they'll have a little boost in volume. But they have 4 people on either side. One of them are emeralds, so that's a total of 12 people, all kind of cruising on their 90-point Shakeology orders that happen on HD. And they're kind of sitting there, and the diamond who's created that feels like they've done all the work to get to diamond, but they're generating about 1,000 points total, and they're making about $54. And so it's clear to me that diamonds who have gotten into that place where they aren't really volume strong are feeling like, what do I do now? And so my answer to what you do now is you focus on building 500 point coaches. And once you do that, the next step is you focus on building emerald tribes. And an emerald tribe is really pretty basic. And I don't have the you guys can see this. I could screen share, but in fact, do you want me to do that, Melissa, so they can see it?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So screen share this right here. All right. So I think this is the slides they built for me. So that's the volume strong mindset. And this is 500 PV coaches. And what I'll tell you about having a 500 PV coach, if that was the initial goal, some of the things that we've done is we teach the coach how to meet people where they are, like just go through the discovery process. And the question I ask isn't, do you want to be in a challenge group? The question I ask is, how's your health? How have you been? And I know you really want to take care of yourself better the last time I saw you. How's that going? Those are the questions I ask. And the second thing that we can do to help a 500 PV coach is teach them how to have raving fan customers. So what can happen if you're just focused on Success Club points and getting people into challenge groups is this month you got your 5 or your 10, and then the month is over and you pull them into a challenge group and you realize it's the 1st of November again, you've got to go do it again. So you're focused again on getting new while you're trying to service the old. And I'm thinking, let's take the pressure off. You're going to get Success Club points every time the challenge pack is the right solution. But if it's not, I want you to get PV and get a happy customer who's on a product that they're going to stick with, and have that customer become a raving fan of their relationship with you and the products that they're using. The other thing we do is we inspire customers to become influencers. So what does that mean? I like to tell a customer, and when I start with somebody, I'm like, you know what? I know you've got my support, but is there anybody in your life that if you had them doing this with you, it would even help you stick with it more? Is there anybody that in your life that if they did it with you, it would be good for them too? And so we actually dig deep into our customer relationships to say, don't do this alone. Who else can we bring on board to support you and that you could actually maybe inspire along the way? So we teach our coaches that. The other thing is it organically starts to boost their revenue. And a 500 PV coach is going to make at least $125 in their commissions, which is the least going to pay for their own personal products. And they're in a place of being profitable every month. So that's the thing about 500 PV coaches. And the other thing is I've noticed is with teams, it's starting to expand a team's confidence in products. So if I were to ask your team, so do you really know, how would you guys use Soothe with a customer? And a lot of them are like, Soothe, what is that? Because they've only,
what?
Yeah. So Soothe is turmeric and aloe. And this drink I'm drinking is juiced turmeric. And I take 2 or 4 of them, especially when I've been traveling a lot, every day. And because it's super healthy for my digestive system. And if you've got somebody who has tummy troubles, as I'm saying, ask some questions. They might need probiotics. They might need enzymes because every time they eat, feel yucky afterwards or sleepy afterwards. So that's really what those 3 products are in Ultimate Reset. And they sell individually very well. In fact, when I catch people with Tums and antacids and all of that, I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. You don't want to do that to yourself. Give this a try for 30 days, and I promise you, you'll never buy a roll of those again, right? So expanding your team's product confidence is what happens when you start thinking about this. And then the last part of this is just creating recognition and volume around it. And I don't suggest just starting at 500, start at 100. Go maybe a recognition monthly that's 100, 200, 500, and 1,000 and more. And let people start focusing on meeting their customers where they are and serving them that way. So here's this next slide about Emerald. Emerald is really the cornerstone of our entire community. There's just no doubt about it. And I think sometimes we even forget that. But in this case, what we've done is we take an Emerald who knows how to have their 500 points. And the job of the Emerald on the top is to do one thing, and that is to teach their personally sponsored coaches how to become teachers of their people to become Emeralds. So in this case, you know, my first level personally sponsored coaches, I want them to get to 500 and know how to do that. And then as they build their Emerald with their 2 people, they're teaching them how to become Emerald. Once you do that, you now have created an Emerald tribe that's 4 levels deep. You at the top, level 2, level 3, level 4. That's 15 coaches in this little tribe. And this little tribe together is all talking about the customers they're serving. And this little tribe together is helping each other get to their 500 points or more and sharing ideas of how they, you know, talk about the performance line to a CrossFit guy as an example. The other thing this tribe is doing is creating 7,500 points and helping probably about 1,000. No, I'm trying to think of how many people that would be. One 500 PV coach is average 6 to 10 customers. Okay. So what I love about this is really all solidly based on customers getting support with products. So this is the Emerald tribe. Now this Emerald's probably, I don't have the exact number. I think it's around $477 that this Emerald would make in a month on cycle bonuses. That's not a lot. Right.
It's way better than $4.
Right. And that's not life-changing for some people, but imagine if you had Emeralds happy doing this little job with their 2 people, earning $477 as a little extra income and happy there, happy with their little customer base, happy with their little tribe. So and Melissa, you'll remember we built this way in the beginning because we were get to Emerald, build Emeralds, very much like this. Yeah. But let's talk about what this does. All right. So this is the diamond, classic diamond I talked about. This diamond, got to diamond, focused on, I want to get there. It's a nice, you know, great position to be in. And then kind of sat back and went, $54. I wanted to make more than that. And that's simply because people came in with challenge packs, rested on their Shakeology, and didn't go build customer bases. This diamond's very fragile because if one person doesn't qualify, they're like, it's okay. You know, no worries. And so I think there's a lot of reasons to look at this and say, this is what we need to boost. If you look at this diamond who's just learned how to help their people get to 500 customer base going, this diamond's going to be a lot happier. I think earning right in that $450 range in cycle bonuses alone. But their people are happy. And here's another thing. This diamond's not going to fall out of rank. This diamond's going to be pretty solid. Okay. So this is a good first step for what I like. Yeah.
I was just going to say one thing that I want people to notice on this is that this is a diamond that's making a lot more money than that classic diamond, but it only has one emerald on each side. It's not like It's got gobs of emeralds yet, and it's doing much better than the classic diamond. Like you said, it's a solid diamond.
Right. So what we teach is something called Diamond Strong, and I'll show you that next. Because I'll say to a diamond, you're going to get to diamond, you're going to get the rank and recognition and all that. That's great. We're going to do a hoot and holler and be happy. But this is what a diamond really is. A diamond strong. So we have a diamond classic, and then we have this diamond strong. A diamond strong has 4 emeralds on either side, emerald tribes on either side. Now you're going to have other people on your left and right leg that probably are just discount coaches or whatever, but this is the goal. We're focusing and working on building 4 emerald tribes on either side. This diamond is going to make $3,600 in cycle bonuses every month.
Yep.
3,600. And we like to actually tell them, because I like 6 on either side. That's the next goal. 6 is about 5,400, 5,400 a month in cycle bonuses because of the volume. The volume that's getting created here is 60,000 points. And I believe in people over points. So imagine the customers and the customer conversations that are happening in this team. It's pretty awesome.
Well, one thing I want to remind people too, Milan, is that you had said something that I thought, wow, we always think it's got to be so big. And some people may be seeing these numbers and be like, oh my gosh, each 500 PV coach is just working with 6 to 10 customers. And those aren't new customers every month. They're just 6 to 10 buddies. And yes, a couple of them may fall off after 4 months, 5 months, but by then you've found a couple other buddies who need some help. And it's not like they're trying to get 6 new customers every month. That's what I love about this formula.
Yeah. And I mean, it can be done if a person's rocking challenge groups and challenge packs, they can do it this way too. I mean, the team volume's a little off in that because the offering's a little different, but then the Shakeology kicks in after that. The danger I've seen is the Shakeology doesn't stick. So I would rather you have customers that are committed to products that are really serving them. Hopefully a bunch of them are Shakeology and Daily Sunshine, and they're happy to be on that product. I mean, I have customers who've been on it for years. But we're not talking about the super person that knows how to sell a lot or the person that's like super good on Instagram. I'm talking about like the lady across the street that just moved in who goes to a yoga class and just lost her house. We live in the Sonoma fire zone. So we had family move across the street. They'd lost their home. And I want to be able to go to her and say, listen, I know you're in chaos right now, so let's let that settle down. But here could be a fun little thing to do with your yoga buddies. And one of her yoga buddies might be the next 500 PV coach that helps her get to Emerald, see? Because it's people believe and know that they can do it. And that's the important thing. So I'm not taking anything away from the value of challenge packs and challenge groups. I'm just wanting everybody to look beyond that in terms of serving their customers and building these Emerald tribes.
Yeah. So often, just like you said, we would think if that person isn't thinking challenge pack, like you're talking to somebody, you met somebody on social media, and they're not thinking, they're like, I don't know if I can do a challenge pack. So many times we would write them off. Okay, next. Yeah. Because we're trying to get to those points. But exactly what you said, I've talked to a lot of coaches too, and they've realized that they've made a little bit of a mistake by writing those people off. Like the challenge pack is definitely the best solution, but then there's the better and then there's the good, and you can line up these, best, better, goods and just keep those customers happy.
Yeah. In fact, just before the call, I got a Facebook message from a gal I have not heard from in 6 years. And she's a yoga instructor as well in Vermont. And she said, the reason I'm coming back to you is I just want to do 80-day obsession. I don't want anybody selling me all the other Shakeology. I just want 80-day obsession. And so I'm coming to you, she goes, because I trust that you're just going to help me get that done. Don't.
You're not going to try to keep selling me their stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Just meet where they are. I love that.
Yeah. So that's the idea. And, going back to just kind of it starts with the healthy formula. It goes into this is the volume mindset, but it really goes into how as a team, if you guys can think, and there's some cool stuff coming up, not just from the different programs that they're launching now through On Demand, but Beachbody's way stepping it up with nutrition. And the 2B mindset, I think, was a huge missing link where we're going to be able to bring a lot of people to the fold who have struggled to stick before with 2B mindset. And the whole upgrade of the portion control is better than it's ever been. And so I think we're in the solution. We've always been good on the fitness side, and they're constantly launching new things on the fitness side. And now with On Demand, they can do it much more effectively than they ever could. But they've way up their game on the nutrition side. And I got to spend some time with, I don't know his last name because he likes to be called Luigi, but they hired this amazing doc, family practitioner, kinesiologist, really interesting guy out of UCLA that's now head of product development. And I kept running into him everywhere I went. And I'm like, the bars are great, but we need more products. Like, please, come up.
More.
You know,
More are great, but like more stuff, more stuff.
Yeah. And I said, just go look at what our customers are buying elsewhere. That's all I ask you to do. You know, go, because I'm hearing it every day that they're going somewhere else for a joint formula or somewhere else, you know. And so I know that he's on board and he started today for that sole purpose. He's also going to make himself available for our calls. So finally we have a doctor that can get on the line and say, well, let's talk about digestive disorders, or, you know, let's talk about joint disease. And we haven't really had that before. So I feel like really what's been happening is we've gone through a year of, I like to call it wonky or funky. It's kind of like, it's a year of change. And the Beachbody's innovating like crazy on their end, hiring some pretty amazing people to help us always be ahead. But we're also kind of emerging through something that's felt a little tough this year. And I have been, you know, like I like to say, I'm a great grandma from the middle of the wine country that, you know, said yes to Carl 11 years ago. And today I'm standing stronger in my belief than I ever have been. I feel like our culture is getting healthier. It's not just, you know, points and recognition and elite and all of that. We're really getting down to having this business feel relevant to everyone, including the males out there. You know, I think I've seen some good, strong male leadership come up in the UK. It's huge. And so we've needed that. But I just feel really like I can take a deep breath and look. My plan, I've told every coach this, and I really believe it. Have a very strong game plan between now and the end of March. Okay, because we have a couple things coming out, but then the bars will come out after that, and new announcements will be made. But between now and March, be crystal clear about what your focus is. And I'm hoping that from this call, your focus will be, how do I personally get to 500, and how do I help the people around me get to build their little customer base of 500 or more?
Yeah, Milan, thank you. I love this. And it actually goes in line so well, because I'm going to kick off an Emerald Factory type training. I don't know if I'm going to call it Emerald Factory yet, because I don't want people to focus on emeralds, but I want them to focus on the 500 PV. And that's going to be a training that is going to open up for our team next Monday. And I think it's just a time to really, you know, really take this and focus on it between now and the end of the year, and really focus on the products and focus on the customers. And there's so much about this. I kind of had flashbacks to like 8 years ago, when we would just be talking to people, just get to Emerald, you know, get to Emerald, help two people, help two, you know, and it wasn't all about the discount coaches and the diamonds and the elites and the points. Mm-hmm. And I think we all got kind of lost in that. And when we got lost in that, we lost our customers, the ones that needed us for more than just 2 points.
Right.
And I'm excited to see the company notice that too, and just kind of come back around and be like, let's help our customers. Let's retain our customers. And Stephanie and I were talking about, she kind of brought something up, and it was really interesting, because then 2B kind of got announced. And one of the things she was mentioning is that we need to talk about sustainability. You know, we always focus on, first it was 90 days, you know, 10 years ago. And then it was 45, then it was 30, then it was 21, you know, and we're like, well, people just rush so hard, and then they fall off the wagon again after 21 days. And she's like, we need to talk about sustainability. What can we do to keep these customers on for a year? Give me a year. So I'm so glad to see 80-day obsession. Let's go back to the longer time period. And also 2B, really start changing that mindset where it's a lifestyle change. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. I did post a video on the team page about 2B. What is your favorite, what's your favorite thing about that?
I wrote some notes. I think, you know, it's 33 videos, but I think what it really is it's the inner solution to this. It's the inner mindset that is usually what derails people all along. And so I typically work with women 50 and over who, you know, they like to have their glass of wine.
So you are in the wine country.
I am in the wine country. Yeah, for sure. So what I really like about it is it's really designed to focus on the mindset change that needs to happen, so that you don't feel deprived or frustrated or crabby and hungry and that all of that, it really gets you in the right place to make it sustainable, to make the change you're going to make long term. I also think, 80-day obsession is not a workout that I would necessarily promote. But I can bring somebody, a woman, into BOD and do 3-week yoga and have 2B available to her. And I'm going to have a lifelong fan of our programs. Whereas before I wasn't quite sure how to do that. And now I feel like I can. So that, along with some bars and some other things, I just think next year is going to be what it needs to be, because we've had a rough year and it's time for us to come out of this stronger than we ever had before. And I can literally see them putting that into place for us now.
I'm so glad you saw, at leadership, that corporate has our backs and they see what we need to progress forward, and they're providing it for us.
Yay, I know. So anything I can do to support you, I'm here. We're like sisters in this business from the start. So happy to share what we've, I wrote 10 lessons right around this concept that you're welcome to have and just compare. But I just want to see you guys thrive. And here's the thing, when everyone on this call, when every coach thrives in this business, what it does is it makes it real for all of us, right? It validates that the next person I bring into this business has the opportunity to thrive too. And so that's why it's so important to me that we all find our way, and ultimately we prove that you can have a business doing something that you love, that you're incredibly proud of. And where the whole idea is taking really good care of yourself so that you can show other people how they can do that too.
Absolutely. I did have a request from somebody in the chat, actually from Shannon and myself. I put together some of these slides, but not all of them. Would you be able to share your PowerPoint here?
Sure. This one I can send you. And then there's one that's a little bit more detailed. This is the one they did for leadership. So I'll send you both and you can just choose from it. And I'll send you them in the PowerPoint format so that you can change them around if you need to.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it was great. Well, thank you so much. I know you're tired. You've had a day of travel yesterday and you have a lot going on, and just being on stage kind of brings it out of you. I know it does me. It definitely does.
You're so sweet. The funny story is we were evacuated on October 9th, and our house survived, but only because there's amazing firefighting that happened. Literally, it was surrounded by fire, and our roof is still damaged. But to be home was like, because I went straight from evacuating and out of our home into the UK, and then came back for 2 days and then went to leadership. So I'm literally home. This is my first 24 hours.
You're like, and I've got to be on a call tonight. You're like, Kevin, sorry. I know.
No, it is, this means so much to me that this business works for everyone. And I think we're in a place where we can create some really solid businesses volume wise that pays people consistently. And that's what I want. So thank you for the opportunity, Melissa.
Yes, thank you, Milan. I so appreciate it. You have a wonderful night. And
good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm going to be doing some live calls on talking to you guys about some different products that are coming up that Milan talked about. And even talking about current products, like maybe you didn't know about Soothe and digestive enzymes that we have, and really how to talk to people about these different products that we currently have in our catalog, and not waiting just for the bars and waiting for these new things. Like, we can get busy right now. So again, mark your calendars for next Monday. I'll be kicking off a new training. I'm excited to have everybody on that. You guys, even if your coaches have been on it for a long time. I know Shannon's been with me for a super long time, and I want you guys to be a part of that training. And maybe it's even something we just do on the team page so that everyone can do it, because this is really where I want to see this business go, is that we don't just focus on someone with 2 points above their head, 2 points, like the rabbit ears, that we help them as customers. We find out what do they need and how can we help them. And when we're doing that, we're helping ourselves, we're helping our volume. And I just love the way that she said it. We're creating an income for ourselves, which is why most of us started this anyway. We can help people on the side for free, but we started this and we put the time into it. And you guys are putting time into this call tonight because you do want to earn an income and you want to increase it going forward. All right, well, I know it's late and I appreciate all your time. And so I'm just going to let you guys go. I'll put this Zoom up in the recorded section tomorrow morning, most likely. And if not tonight. So you'll see it up there. Thanks, you guys, and have an awesome night. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.